Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I'm going to be taking a look at Countdown to Final Crisis number 12. So I've been counting down Countdown to Final Crisis all the way from issue 51 down to this point. So be sure and check out my previous reviews. They're all in a playlist, and I'll have a link for them in the description box. So this issue was written by Paul Dini with Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti. Now, Jimmy Palmiotti's a really cool guy. I like his writing, but also he's really nice if you use Twitter. He follows me on Twitter, and I follow him, and he's really nice and professional. So he's a pretty cool comics pro, and I actually mentioned him on our live stream on Sunday. We talked about professionalism in comics. So the story consultant on this was Keith Giffen, and it was penciled by Jesus Says, who did a lot of the penciling on these issues. He's really good, and Tom Derenick, of course, is also a great artist. So this was also inked by Jimmy Palmiotti, so it's cool he did the inks on this. And it was colored by Tom Chu with lettering by Ken Lopez. So the cover on this was by Stefan Rue, and we'll check out the cover. So it's a pretty good cover. You see Darkseid there. He's blasting his game board. He's got a little game board that has all of the DC characters on it. Kind of shows his plans. He's been manipulating things from behind the scenes. So while this doesn't exactly happen in the issue, it is very representative of the story as a whole. So I think it's a really good cover, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first page, we see Apokolips, which makes sense seeing Darkseid on the cover. And if you missed the last issue, this group of heroes here was actually told by the source. It's complicated, but the source wrote a message on the wall that said, go to Apokolips, or just Apokolips, I can't remember. And Donna Troy saw it. So now they're on Apokolips. So there's a 2-page spread here. Looks pretty cool. See the credits and the title. So we've got Kyle Rayner, Donna Troy, and the Atom Ray Palmer. Although we've gone through a couple of Ray Palmers. There's a lot of alternate Earth characters in this. So anyways, they're there, and they don't know why they're there. They just knew that they had to go there because the source told them to. So then we go to the next page, and there's this crazy thing going on between Jimmy Olsen and Forager 2. I mean, I guess it's not really that crazy, but they're in a little relationship, so they've been hanging out. And it's actually really funny to me because in the last issue, the source wrote to Apokolips on the wall, but it was all like mysterious and only Donna Troy could see it. This time the source wrote to Apokolips on the steam in the mirror in the bathroom from Jimmy Olsen's hookup with this female forager. So anyways, now they know they have to go to Apokolips. And we go to the next page, and, Countdown usually jumps around a lot, so Mary Marvel's lost her powers again for the second time in this series, and she's stuck on Themyscira. Right now, though, it's kind of a weird place because Granny Goodness has taken it over. She's pretending to be Athena. So all this stuff is revealed. You know she's Athena, pretending to be Athena, and you even see her talking to Darkseid and stuff. But the crazy thing about that is they also had Amazon's attack running at the same time. So honestly, some of what happens in this particular issue contradicts what happens in Amazon's attack. But, oh well. It's kind of a drag because I really liked Amazon's attack, and I like Countdown as well. I wish they'd done a better job of meshing the two stories. They've done a pretty good job up to this point, but we'll get into that more here in a bit. So the scene changes yet again. So Darkseid has got Solomon the Monitor with him here. He's basically got him, I don't know if you'd say captive, but he took him and brought him here, and they're just discussing how things are going down. So, it's just like a one-page scene change. Although I gotta say, Darkseid looks really creepy when he smiles. I don't know, that's weird to see. So then there's quite a bit here about what's going on with the Amazons. Ultimately, though, it's revealed to everyone present that it's not really Athena, it's actually Granny Goodness. So that really doesn't fit too well with what happens in Amazon's attack, and Hippolyta beats her, and we see her change back into Granny Goodness and flee. So I don't know, maybe in the coming issues things will reset to where they were, but to me that seems like a bit of a contradiction. Overall, though, the art's really good, and, the way Hippolyta's drawn in her armor, I think looks really good. Also, too, there's Harley and Holly Robinson, I think, are fighting, too, amongst the Amazons, so it's pretty good. little scene, but it goes for 4 or 5 pages. So then towards the end here, we're picking up with the Piper. We haven't seen him in a long time. He's basically was on the run, and now he's stuck out in the desert. The Trickster was with him, and he's actually died. Deadshot shot him. And yeah, Piper's thinking he's going to die. He looks all gaunt. You can see his lips and face are all dehydrated, and he's probably going to die. But then there's a full page where you see a big boom, and presume it's a boom tube. We'll see what happens with him in the future. And then we wrap up with yet another crazy thing. So I think this series by this point just had too much going on. Like, we're almost 80% of the way through the series. It really needs to be wrapping up some of these plot threads. So anyways, Karate Kid and Triplicate Girl are kind of confronted by Brother Eye, and there's a big explosion, and then that issue ends. So it's a pretty good issue, but there's just so much that they need to wrap up. They can only even dedicate a few pages to any one of their plot threads. So it's going to be interesting to see how this gets wrapped up in only 11 more issues. So there's a bonus at the end that's really good. It's the origin of Cersei. I guess in some ways you could say this is the best part of the comic. The art's really good, and yeah, it's just information on Cersei if you don't know her backstory. She takes a very prominent role in Amazon's attack, even though she wasn't in this issue. So that's all for now. Be sure and check out my reviews of Amazon's attack. I reviewed all 6 issues, and as always, thanks for watching and being a part of DC Fans United. I really appreciate it. Be sure and hit the bell if you haven't. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thanks for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.